Good morning, rise and shine, my friends. Today is Thursday, March 23rd, and this is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Katherine Hobbs. Thank you so much for starting your morning with me. Well, we're holding off on the 90s and peaking at around 86 degrees today. There will be some clouds, but nothing too major. And even with the clouds, though, the UV index is still crazy high, so take whatever precautions you need to. Personally, I will never turn down the opportunity to wear an obnoxiously oversized hat. We're talking two of my favorite topics later in the show, Antarctica and the Punk to Taylor Swift pipeline. If you're still too cool for Taylor, I must insist that you check out some of the Pop Goes Punk covers floating around social media. They are such a vibe. More on both of those in a minute, but first, let's get you the news you need to start your day, friends. The Texas Republican Party will kick off its biennial convention today, but not without the controversy of a backdrop of in-party animus and early voting and runoff elections that could usher in a new balance of power in the Texas House. The three-day convention is going to take place down in San Antonio, and attendees there will set the state's GOP platform for the next 2 years. They'll select delegates for July's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, and they'll vote on a new leader for the state party. One notable absence is going to be Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan. Right now, he's in the crosshairs of his party's far-right flank after detractors accused him of not being conservative enough for Texas. In a packed banquet hall at the Sheraton Arlington Hotel, filled with elected officials and county staff, Republican Tarrant County Judge Tim O'Hare laid out his priorities for his county's government. He explained where he wants to look for cost savings for the county and its residents next year, through economic development, a smaller jail population, and more mental health services. One plan is to get more involved in drawing new businesses to the county. UTA has had to restructure their well-known LGBTQ+ program to comply with Senate Bill 17, which bans diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts on campuses. Under the new law, Texas universities and colleges had to end their DEI programs, scaling back and, in some cases, shuttering the resource centers that served LGBTQ+ students. UTA administrators didn't want to inform the program supervisors or the students about its closure until the very last minute. KERA's Juan Salinas II has more.
When it was time to go to college, Seraphine Peck's son knew she wanted to move away from her hometown in the suburbs of Houston. She wasn't out as trans to many people, including her parents.
I was like, okay, high school sucks. I'm going to get through it. Once I'm in college, I'm free. I'm going to dress the way I want to. I'm going to take hormones that the college will connect me to, that kind of stuff.
She felt more accepted at the University of Texas at Arlington, which last year was ranked one of the top LGBTQ+ friendly colleges in the country.
When I went to college, and I heard about all these fantastic, resources that I would have access to. I was really looking forward to it. And yeah, it felt really hopeful.
Peckson used the school's LGBTQ+ resource center to get her name changed on her campus ID and for the occasional counseling throughout her freshman year. Earlier this year, Peckson, who's going to be a junior, was hoping the center could also provide guidance on starting hormone therapy. But when she tried to reach out through the program's website, the webpage was gone.
Not only has the website been removed without warning, but a lot of these sources can't really talk about queer struggles anymore, or let alone help you.
UTA had restructured the program to comply with Senate Bill 17, which bans university DEI efforts. Before SB 17 went into effect in January, the school's LGBTQ+ program was a hub for students like Peck's son. It offered a local wellness guide and a list of national resources, like the Trans Lifeline and the Transgender Law Center.
The LGBTQ program was big. We held events all the time. And now the fact that's gone and they didn't even tell anyone was ridiculous.
That's UTA student Ryan Hoffman. He works as an advocate, offering guidance to other LGBTQ+ students. Hoffman says under SB 17, advocates can still help students with ID name changes and counseling, but they can't help with gender-affirming medical care.
We essentially are trying to do as much of the stuff we did before as possible while still being compliant with SB 17.
Elsie Kendall with Equality Texas says this is happening at campuses all over the state. Students are left to navigate things on their own. They could help them be more themselves.
And so just taking away like things like that, it's very like impactful and hurtful, especially to trained students.
Some student organizations, which aren't supposed to be impacted by SB 17, are trying to fill in those gaps. UTA's Lavender Alliance set up a GoFundMe last month to help fund campus events such as the annual drag show and guest speakers, events that the university would typically pay for. And next year, the student government will receive extra funding from the university that student groups can apply for to pay for cultural events. KERA reached out to UTA for more details about its LGBTQ plus resources, but a spokesperson said they can't readily provide that information. Seraphine Pexton says she knows the university's hands are tied when it comes to SB 17.
Going forward, it feels like we can't really rely on administration for a lot of this stuff anymore.
She says she and other students will have to rely on each other.
That was KERA's Juan Salinas II. Well, last night, the Mavs won against the Timberwolves in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals by just 3 points. They finished with a final score of 108-105. And the Stars are back on the ice tonight to try to advance in their own playoffs. Okay, I am pulling out my conservation degree for this one, y'all. So there's a glacier, and it's off the eastern coast of Antarctica, and scientists have nicknamed it the Doomsday Glacier. It's a marker used to evaluate how global warming is affecting the continent, and then in turn, how it can affect us. It's the world's widest glacier, and it is vigorously melting as ocean temperatures continue to warm and seawater flows both underneath and into the gaps of the glacier. Its ice melt could contribute to even more rapid sea level rise all around the world, including on the coast of Texas. All right, whether you have been a Swiftie since '06 or you're on the Punk to Taylor Swift pipeline like me, there's a concert at the Harbor in Rockwall tonight that you do not want to miss. It's the Red Tribute Concert, and it's set to begin this evening at 7 p.m. For more arts and culture, you can always check out kera.org/calendar. Thank you so much for starting your day with me today. I am so glad you take a few minutes to listen each morning. Be sure to subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA newsletter, also by yours truly, at keranews.org, and go ahead and check us out on Instagram and Threads at KERATX. I'm Katherine Hobbs. We will chat again tomorrow.